Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, when it comes to development of our spirituality, people do many kind of activities, and when it comes to Buddha's time period to now, so during this dispensation, and monks and lay people, so the monk's life and lay life, and even in when it comes to monk's life, there are some monks used to live in village, and there are some monks used to live in forest, Gramavasi, Aranyavasi. So the forest monk completely practice mostly the meditation, and the village monk and provide all other necessary spiritual facilities to people, advise people, guide people, and they go with them. And when it comes to people also, there are different kind of lifestyle they have. So somehow, mostly during your lay life, in this conventional life, as an ordinary person, there is a way that you can develop your spirituality. So that also very important. It's not, you don't need to become a monk. If you can become a monk, it is good. But it is not that necessary that you have to do to attain to enlightenment. It's nothing to do becoming a lay person or becoming a monk. It's nothing to do for your liberation. Only the thing is the path you can take can bring more facilities to your practice, and but still it is up to you. And even lay person can become attain to enlightenment more faster than sometimes some monks, because we don't know, just becoming a monk doesn't mean that it is a qualification to attain to enlightenment. It is development of your mind. So then how, as an ordinary person in day-to-day life, how you can develop your spirituality? Another thing is, mostly people think, oh, you have to practice meditation. It's nothing to do with meditation. Development of your mind is mainly come to get out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So meditation is one of method that uplift your awareness and develop your mind. That is one way. And this is a kind of like the method that you have to little by little practice. So there are four kind of people. One person always think and work for the welfare of others. He always dedicate his life to welfare of others. And there is another person, he always work, sacrifice welfare of himself. And there is another person, he sacrifice, he always work, look for opportunities to welfare of himself or herself and for others, both. And another person, he don't do anything regarding for himself, herself, or regarding others' welfare. He always out of the track. So there are four kind of people. So out of these four, the first three people is good. Why? Because at least there are people, they work themselves for their own welfare. And no, sometimes people work for others' welfare as their husband, wife, children, friends, family members, so like that. But if you can be the person, you work for your welfare and for others' welfare, and that is the best. The worst is there are some people, they don't they don't look for development of their life or others. So here welfare means happiness and satisfaction and development. This all included to welfare. So then as an ordinary person, how you find the happiness, satisfaction and development in your life? And how you provide your security and for others security? And how you provide your comfort and others comfort and satisfaction? This all included to welfare. So the mostly what we does as ordinary people, we hold the qualities regarding ourselves and we hold into the conventional qualities in day-to-day life, in this ordinary life. And with that qualities, we try to deal with our life. So as example, as parents, and sometimes you introduce yourself to your children with the knowledge what you know and what you used to do. And as a young boy or as a child, how you used to do things, and now who you are now, what kind of work you do. So these kind of things you bring as your qualities, your qualifications to introduce yourself to children, and children also follow that, and then they follow that, and then what is happening later, they start to introduce themselves with what they know. And sometimes they come in because like 20 years back there was no Google, or there was no that much computer laptop, or there was no YouTube or like that. There was no not this kind of documentary based knowledge. But now children come with that kind of thing. So then what happened, they introduce themselves with that all the qualifications. And sometimes we appreciate the material things whatever we have, and we hold it to that, we introduce ourselves with that identity. And also, and sometimes the wealth that whatever we have, so we keep the wealth as our identity and we introduce with that. So, and the other thing is the power. And the politicians, and not only the politicians, and then you find the relationships to them, and then maybe relatives. So kind of like you introduce as identity. So this kind of this, the conventional lifestyle that we build up, and at the same time it mostly deeply it keep connecting with the mostly the food. If you look very carefully, food is one of the major important things when we look for our welfare. And even the government can change, if they not able to provide the necessary food for people. So another thing is that whatever conventionally we like, or dancing, singing, party, drinking, so these kind of things. So as a comfortable life, when it comes to welfare, as a comfortable life, as a success of the life, we think like this way: becoming famous, having power, having money, having a kind of like the wealth and the jewelries and the brand names and the beautiful costumes. So these kind of things. So that is our identity when it comes to our welfare. So as parents, you work, sometimes you forget your all this welfare regarding you work completely for your children, your family, to provide these things. And sometimes people don't care about others and they hold it to themselves, thinking this is their welfare, and they always with the self-centered mind, accumulating. And there are some people, they work for themselves and they work for others. And there are some other people, they didn't destroy everything. So somehow conventionally that welfare also necessary. But if you look very carefully, that welfare that you build up with this material life as your identity to introduce to the world and go with the world, hold it to the world, mostly end up with the misery, sadness, worry, fear, unhappiness, unsatisfaction. So if we look these people's magazines, most of very famous people, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of the wealth and the pay, the name, they are well known, very famous, all the best kind of costume, jewelries, brand names, everything with them. But mostly, most of people's, their life, end of their life, if we look very carefully, most of them not happy. And sometimes they go through very hard time deeply themselves and psychologically collapse. So why it can happen like that way? And even when we look at the power, the wealth, the money, look at how the politicians or the how the people's life end. They are very rich, well known, very famous, they have everything, and they have the power, but look how their life end, how it's going, how it ending. Why they cannot do something better than this? Why they cannot see? It happened when we look at the human history, everywhere same, all the countries. And they most of they come to the the physical welfare, conventional welfare, but their life completely in misery. So in when you look very carefully, then yourself, you also going to have the same thing then. Because sometimes there are a lot of people have the money, power, and the name better than you. But if they suffer and if they struggle and if they end with nothing, how about you sacrifice to bring this everything to your children and you try to push them up, and where are they going to end? And even what will happen to you also? So then, in your conventional life, how you can turn this and make it more better, comfortable, secure way to move forward? What is the real welfare then? So when it comes to that, while you having your life, it doesn't matter whatever the lifestyle that you go through, whatever the social status that you carry. So the very first thing, remember, rather than that hold it to names and the hold it to the kind of like skills in as ordinary people ourselves, first start to learn the Buddha's character. Learn really as the person who is the Buddha. Just read about his life. During this pandemic time, you at home, and sometimes, and mostly, if you spend time and you can read about the Buddha, within few days you can get a lot of, you cannot end, but you can, as a idea, you foundation, you can find his lifestyle and the qualities that he used to carry as a person, not about the spiritual leader or nothing to do, as a person, as a human being, what kind of qualities that the Buddha used to carry. So learn. When you say Buddham Saranam Gacchami, you know, there is a deeper meaning. Maybe you never understand it in this lifetime. You just keep repeating. But try yourself during this time period. So learn about the Buddha, and that going to nourish your real welfare in your life, and start to anchor your life to that kind of qualities, and teach your children, because that is the best, the life, the character that you can find. There are many other characters, but when it comes to the highest, the Buddha's character, we all can trust. And it never going to lead us to any kind of greed, hatred, and the delusion. And that is why he is a very qualified person. Why? Because whatever any words that whatever he uttered, it never leads that anyone to greed, hatred, and the delusion. So whatever the famous people maybe you follow, you like artists, singers, actors, actresses, you have your famous people. Look how their life end. Just look. If you keep that person as your icon, if you follow that person, what will happen to you? Where are your life going to end? So then when you look for welfare, remember, start to know about the Buddha's character. If you base it related to your own welfare, that's going to work for you. And if you think about others' welfare, teach your children about the Buddha's qualities as a person, how he used to deal with the situations, deal with life, and what kind of vision that he had regarding life, the way he used to think about life. When a question come, at least as a one example, I tell you, very, very simple, one thing that we doesn't do mostly. If you can follow this, that will open the doors, the success that will lead you to success. One thing, when he left the palace, before he left the palace, and he used to go to the park with the Chan, his friend. So he saw very old man, and he had a question in his mind. And what he did, the very simple, as a person, the quality that he carried. So what he did, He asked from Channa when he had the doubt, hey Channa, who is that? See, that is one of the best quality that when it comes to our human life, the keeping the openness. We are not that kind of people. We are, that's why we becoming very dumb, even very conventionally. As a husband, wife, children, friends, and family, and when it come to, family, gather, conversation sometimes, people not open. When they have a question, they hold it, hide it. They never open the mouth and talk. They have their own world. They think they have the question, they think about it, and they living in their own la la land, and they go with their dreams. Look, not only one time. See, the 4 times he asked that question. There, what does that mean? He had that mental quality. That's why when he having a question, he asks, he open, he question, he investigate. So that is one. So like that in day-to-day life, he's so rich with the, you know, that development of life. So that's why try to get that kind of qualities to yourself and teach your children. And when with your husband and wife, with your families, with your brothers, sisters, when something right away go unbalanced, rather than holding and, without opening, just thinking yourself, disconnect whole family. Detach everybody, it's a separate everybody, become enemies. And finally, it's nothing. What happened? Because it's something happened, you didn't open, you didn't talk, you didn't have an open conversation, you hold it, and then it develop in your mind something else. So then remember, when you look for your development, other welfare, and both welfares, and come to the Buddha's life first, and share it with others, and all that qualities, nourish your life with it, and teach that qualities to others. So, and then it will lead, it itself become the Dhamma. That is Dharma. Otherwise, Dhamma is not something that the Buddha's lifestyle is something else, Dhamma is something else. No. The whatever the living is the Dhamma. So then you start to learn little by little what is Dhamma. So in your conventional life. And the only thing you have to have the faith regarding the Buddha, and regarding even yourself to become better person. And then you come to the Sangha. So once you know the Buddha, once you see the Dhamma, you become a part of the Sangha. Otherwise, you become separate from part of the Sangha, and if you look them, oh, this monk is Sangha. No, no, no. The person who know the Buddha, the person who see the Dhamma, also the part of the Sangha. So then you become a part of the Sangha. And then it will lead you to, when you have this kind of, life, if you start to build, it will lead you to naturally become disciplined. You become well self-disciplined person. Why? Because you know the life of the Buddha, and once you know it, you're going to like it. Why you don't know? Why you don't like? Because you don't know. It seems like, things that you never experience in life. There are a lot of things, and when you go into that, then, oh, you say, oh, I like this. And there are, you go to eat some places. Maybe that is the first time you went there. And then you say, oh, I like it. Oh, this place is better than that. So like that. Why you follow the actors? Why you appreciate these singers? Why you go with these dancers? Why you go with this all the very famous people? Why you so crazy for politicians? Because you don't know who is Buddha. You don't know. If you know who is Buddha, you will see what you're doing as an ordinary person, not about nothing to do with the spirit. As an ordinary person, just that's why I told he's so rich with the as an ordinary person. So only thing is, once you know, you're going to be there. So why? Because you until you eat from a good hotel, you're going to eat all the dust. So same like that the day you come to know the real qualities of the Buddha, you will never go back. That is the nature of life. Only thing is, it is you have to little by little push towards, and then naturally you become disciplined. So that is another one of the best quality that you can have for your welfare, for others welfare, and both welfares. If anyone is not disciplined, what will happen? That is the person who destroy and become a trouble to everybody. So that discipline is not coming because of the fear, because of the ignorance. No, that discipline arises because you see the Buddha, you know the qualities of the Buddha, you know the life of the Buddha, and you appreciate it, and that is where you become. So as you know, in the first 20 years in the Buddha's life, in that community of the Sangha, there was no any discipline record. Just imagine 20 years, thousands, or most of the young people came from different other the practice religions. They all came, but you know 20 years it was no any discipline. Why? Because when you are really in the path, when you have the real taste, no one need to knock your head and tell do this or do that. You go for it. That's why you are the one who have to get that taste. Once you have it, you done. So once you have discipline, and there are two paths. One is charitra, varitra. So charitra sila means that there are things that you have to do. And then another part, you have to stay away. And when it comes to 5 precepts and 8 precepts, 10 precepts, so like that, there are things that you should not do. And also there are things you should do. How that permanent the the discipline in you, how you can permanent the qualities, Buddha's qualities in you. Just knowing it doesn't work. This is very important part. How you can permanent the discipline in you, and how you can permanent the faith or the confidence or the conviction regarding the Buddha Dhamma and the Sangha in you. So now in day-to-day life, the ordinary life that you go, as a husband, as a wife, as children, as parents, as brothers, sisters, as neighbors, as workers, co-workers, as a chairman or the president, so like that, whatever you do, you start to do your best. You don't neglect. You do your best. So that is where you permanent your discipline. That is where you permanent your faith. If you don't do that, it's going to become something else. So that is a very important. So see, in conventional life, this is the path that you open to the wisdom, nibbana, or the liberation. So then you have to look. So whatever that you do in day-to-day life, little things, when you clean, do your best. And when you even cook, do your best. When you make a cup of tea, do your best. When you wash your clothes, do your best. So that way, what happening? You having the confidence, clarity in that work with the little thing. Another thing is when you do something for others, for your husband, for your wife, for your children, friends, families, your co-workers, whoever come to you to get a service, you do your best. When you do that way, you develop the loving kindness, compassion, equanimity. So that is something, when you do something for others, when you have the well-disciplined mind, and when you have the knowledge regarding the Buddha, naturally what is happening, you start to do things with the loving kindness and compassion and empathetic joy, equanimity. So that is, you develop these qualities in you. And as a human being, when you come with these qualities, whoever receive whatever they receive, they're going to get the best out of you. So then what will happen? In day-to-day life, with the little things, with your husband, with your wife, with your children, friends, families, you secure your mind. That is the most important part. Why? Because that is where you break your discipline, not somewhere else. How it happened? Because if you become unhappy with your husband or wife, if you become unhappy with your children or your parents, if you become unhappy with your brothers, sisters, and your family members or the neighbors and the workplace, then what will happen? You always disappointed, unhappy. So then it leads you to anger. So there are only three ways that it's going to pollute your mind: greed, hatred, and the delusion. So the greed and the another way, the desire. So now you become unhappy with your husband or wife. And then what will happen? You go somewhere, then maybe somebody smile with you, and then you think, oh, this person is better than my husband or my wife. Then you break the rule. And then that you become unhappy with sometimes with the children. So then you always shout. And then the anger arise. And with the anger, then the pride. I know better than you. So I am the father. You have to listen to me. So then something, the ignorance arise. So then you know what is happening. If you look, all over sometimes look, husband kill wife, wife kill husband, parents kill children, children can kill parents, brothers, sisters kill brothers, sisters, neighbors kill neighbors. People kill like this way. It is, very rare. It happened very rare. Strangers come, sometimes, the unknown people come and shoot and, crazy. It can happen anywhere. But how about the same people kill each other? Where it go, how it happen, how it, keep growing inside. Because that is the first precepts. Remember, don't kill. Why? Because it can happen. How many times, you thought, killing others mentally? You get tired sometimes. Why? Maybe you don't kill, but sometimes some people think somebody else should kill that person. People think like that, for real. Even during this time, I heard there are some people talk about somebody should kill that person. See, how it come? That pollute, that it effect for your mind. So then remember, when you have the good connection with the family, when you do things in the right way, when you do your best, it's not going to happen to you. That is where you seek your permanent, your discipline. So that is very necessary. That make you more comfortable person. End of the day, you feel so relaxed, happy, comfortable. Not unhappiness, not hatred, not greed, not worry. That is the best welfare that you can have to you. So then you already develop a pattern to do your best for others. So then what will happen? Others get the best out of you. See, you become good, the person to have welfare for you, and you have the welfare for others. And that is what you have to develop. And when you develop that life, now you're comfortable. And then you're doing things for others naturally. It is not only for you, for your family. You do necessary things for your husband or wife, you take care. And for you do things for your children, you take care of them. And you do things for your brothers and sisters, and you do things for your friends, and you take care of elders and other people, friends, and whoever come to you, you do your best as service. So that way you become so generous person. Why? Because you do things with the love and compassion. That is the best quality that you have to have when you give something. See, you now become so generous. So the sila, so that's mean the discipline, and now you develop the generosity in the middle of that. When you have these two, end of the, even in that very moment, you have no fear, unsatisfaction, worry, unhappiness. You don't have that kind of disturbed mind. So you develop undisturbed mind. So then end of the day, you have done your conventional things and your mind become more happy, calm, relaxed, nothing to struggle, nothing to worry, nothing to fight. That will lead you to tranquility state called samadhi. And then when you sit, no disturbed thoughts come to you. You have undisturbed mind. That's once you have that. So see, this you achieve to this all through this conventional life, not resisting the conventional life. No, you becoming best for the conventional life. And then now you have the undisturbed mind. Now you go to samadhi, you go to meditation. Now from there, you start to achieve to high mental powers or the absorption or the best tranquility state. And from there you go to vipassana. And you recognize how things come to be as they are. And then you slowly, when you become matured with understanding, you slowly develop your liberation moment by moment, rather than struggling, collecting, fighting with this conventional life. Day by day, day by day, day by day, you slowly move away from it. Otherwise, if you keep struggling and fighting, what will happen? That it developed, that misery in your mind, and that misery start to go to others also. Then there's Buddha gave a beautiful example how it going to become. If you develop that misery, unhappiness, worry, sadness, greed, hatred, delusion around you, what will happen to you? So in Asian countries, sometimes that when a person die, they cremate it. So nowadays they have this, you know, electric machine, but mostly they used to do it, they putting wood. And when you use the wood to burn a body, and sometimes the body already burned, the wood, there are some wood, mostly they use very good wood, you know, even the sandalwood. And sometimes once you use that to burn a body, burn a human body, so whatever the leftover that fire, the firewood, people never used to anything. They never use it for anything. They never take it to home or anything once you use it to burn a body. So if you have the greed, hatred, and the delusion developing around you and spreading it with around your husband, wife, children, friends, and family members, co-workers, people, then what will happen? Even you can be the president, so like that. If you become like that, you become like a piece of that firewood that used to burn a body. You become useless. People never take it. So then remember yourself. Don't be like that. In this beautiful life, you are so lucky. You are so blessed to have this beautiful life. Out of this beautiful life, develop undisturbed mind. How you can do it? Start to learn about the Buddha and nourish your life from the Buddha's qualities and share it with others. Give it as a gift to others. And that way you will see. And that is the beginning point. And that will take you to have a good discipline life. And that will take you to have a very generous life. And that will lead you to have an undisturbed mind. That will lead you to your liberation. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayu sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.